I do want to talk about Steven Gerrard, because one possible title that I could put forward, which seems to work quite well for me, but isn't worthy of an entire video, is that I do have a problem with Steven Gerrard's appointment.
It's too difficult because you can't improve what has gone on before.
But that's kind of my point of like, why go? Almost why even go? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for now. Apologies, straight off the bat. We were away last week. Flav had some stuff on.
No, I was available and waiting. I was just sitting here at my computer waiting for another JAFFN to appear.
Have you done that? Because I'm worse than you when it comes to forgetting that we're doing a mailbag or a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it happened this week, James. It happened this week.
It may have.
I said to you, James, I'm literally in Discord waiting to record with you, and I send a message. I can just tell when James is not. Something's up. Something is afoot.
Sixth sense you've got. That's because we know each other so well.
Well, I'm just sitting there, and it's like 10 past, and it's like he hasn't responded, and he hasn't. And I took a picture, and I sent him a message saying, you know, you're going to do what we said we're going to do. And he sends a picture, I've had a mare. And then takes a picture of himself in Tesco.
Yeah.
Going shopping instead of doing your job is not having a mare. That's you making a mistake, James.
Fair enough. So, yeah, I let down the patrons there. But we made it up the next day, fortunately. There was a gap in Flav's schedule, so we were able to do our mailbag. If you enjoy the podcast, and actually, in terms of comments of the week, someone said... Scottish Taco 03. Scottish Taco 03 says, this podcast fully makes my week now. It shouldn't be free. McSlash, who is watching this live in the chat right now, he said, well, the pod doesn't have to be free. If you head over to Patreon for less than the price of a pint in London, you can pay to consume this podcast and another one as well. So get this one live and another one. So get yourself involved. Best of all, you will be bestowed with the title of a moist slug. So
he said that when he said this podcast shouldn't be free, and then McSlash said, all right, well, you can pay. He's like, whoa. That was just a cliched statement I was making. I'm not going to actually pay for it. It shouldn't be free, but I'm definitely not going to pay for it.
That said, I mean, Scottish Taco, I fully expect you to become a patron within the next week. You've got 7 days. Otherwise,
you're banned.
Yeah.
I never want you watching a single fucking minute of this content.
Your words matter in this podcast. They matter so much. They literally create the entire running order. So
talk is cheap.
It is.
And he's cheap.
TORQUE. Talk is cheap.
Can I? What's his name? This guy. What's his name?
Scottish Taco.
Scottish Taco. Can I eat your words? Can I eat your sentiments? Can I go out and get drunk on your platitudes?
But
no.
buy drunk.
I need your money to do that, don't I?
So, we look forward to hearing you next week on the mailbag, Scottish Taco. So much to get through. The Premier League is back. I put on Twitter, I think I might do this each week because it might be fun. Because actually, the comment of the week last week was this, right?
2 weeks.
So, first of all, not everyone got it. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, sorry, we did a podcast talking about why Antonio Conte snubbed Manchester United, which came from Flav's source, I presume. And... Young WK, not everyone got it. He said, I'm disliking for clickbait title. The comments
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's all engagement.
Honestly,
it's all engagement.
Honestly, don't worry about it. Well, yeah, Aiden said, join the slugs. James said, less of that. Now shut up and listen to buffet chat. Rebecca Cully said, are you going to cry? Which we spoke about last week or 2 weeks ago. And actually, the comments from last week are amazing. This week's podcast, I'm really excited about because we've got some power moves. We've got things that make you go, and we've got some unbelievable Samisms once again. Daniel was also in the reply. He said, well, what have you won? It's an old school one, but I like it. But the comment of the week last week with 258 likes says, it's from Angus Simpson. Clickbait title expertly draws out the ones who still believe this is a football podcast. Bravo, Jim. Bravo.
Idiots.
Power move from Allcott there. Watch out. So yeah, it was a bit clickbait, and it got me thinking. Maybe I can milk this one a little bit drier. Sounds horrific, doesn't it? So I tweeted, JAFFN returns today, always in need of a juicy title. What have you got, Slugs? And I'm intrigued to see if any of these are roads you want to go down, Flav, as we enter the football element of it. This will last, I would say, 20 minutes tops. Let's hope.
Yeah, I mean, I think a new bit could be we let the viewers choose the title, whether we talk about it or not, and it can be anything you like.
Well,
I mean, yeah, it could be.
We're starting to get somewhere, mate. We're starting to get it. 30k most podcasts these days.
Well, no. I mean, no. It's got to be. No, sorry, I misspeak. It has to be the most. It has to be the most clickbait football title. It's got to be clickbait. It's got to be football title.
Yeah,
and it's got to get in the little, the dry sluggy.
What's really going to wind up the masses? That's what.
What's going to gain the most click through rate? That's fundamentally what we're asking. What kind of title and thumbnail can we use to get as many people through the door? Yeah, knowing probably we won't even talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it was a piece of art a couple of weeks ago. Because of the word snub. That's what takes it to the next level. Snub. Which, I mean, I don't know, we can probably quickly have a look at the old definition of the word snub.
Snubbed.
Is there a better word than snub in a clickbait title? Let me know in the comments below. Snub, rebuff, ignore, or spurn disdainfully. Lovely.
Scandal.
Yeah, an act of rebuffing or ignoring someone or something. Anyway. I put it out there. Got any good titles? So, Flav, let's see if you like some of these. I do want to talk about Steven Gerrard, because one possible title that I could put forward, which seems to work quite well for me, but isn't worthy of an entire video, is that I do have a problem with Steven Gerrard's appointment at Aston Villa. So we can dive into that.
Okay.
But here's some others.
It could be Harry Maguire is a pleb.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Harry Maguire is an embarrassment for showing some form of character after scoring a goal, which is a positive action. Bit long. Patrons in the chat, if you've got any good titles, we'll read them out in a second. But if you can top that Harry Maguire one. In the mailbag earlier this week, we were on different sides of the fence, weren't we, Flav? I'm annoyed at the fact that Roy Keane gets away with calling Harry Maguire embarrassing for not just taking it on his incredibly large chin and actually giving it a bit back. Exactly. No, I think he should be going, look, he's allowed to do it. It's all part of the banter. Like, take a break.
It's not really banter, is it? It's embarrassing.
I'd say it is banter. Anyway, Jack Endine. Let us know if you like this one, Flav. Will Ben Foster's GoPro capture the moment Ollie gets sacked? Man United against Watford this week. Is that right? I think it is right. That feels banana-y, doesn't it? It's got a whiff of banana.
I mean, how many more? I think he's Teflon. I don't think he's ever going to be sacked.
He will never die. He will never die.
Watford, losing to Watford, that's got to be the end, isn't it? I know we talk about Ollie every week, but that has to be the end.
How much? Because if you imagine a new manager bounce is a trampoline, at Watford you just get a trampette. like the new manager bounce doesn't last that long, because how can it? Because
it's not a trampoline. It's just like it's like a new pair of trainers. That's about as much bounce as you get out of out of Watford.
Or those you remember those new do you
football.
remember PE where you'd do a bit of gym, and there'd be there'd be something that was like that. It was like a wedge.
Yeah.
And you go boing onto the horse.
Onto the horse, yeah.
Which everyone's like, what we do? It's just who's willing to jump over it. Well done. You're more of a man, Billy. I forget it. Happened in the past. We'll move on. Ben Jukes. Those connoisseurs of the podcast will remember Ben Jukes from last year's live, where we asked him what he'd won. He said, I've got a black belt in Taekwondo. We said, prove it with a spoon.
Jesus,
and he did just that.
Well, he's like, prove it. Anyone can say that shit. Go and get dressed up in your Taekwondo outfit and hold a spoon so we know it's you. And by the end of the episode, he'd produce said picture. It was wonderful.
I was hoping it would be his pinned picture. Shame on him. It's a shame. Anyway, he said, Newcastle to possibly win a game for the first time since August. Is that true? Wow, it's not strong enough. Well, Eddie Howe's first game. Thoughts on that, Flav? Excited by him? What are your Eddie Howe vibes? Do you like him? I presume you don't like him just because he was linked with Arsenal frequently.
No, it's just it's a bit boring, isn't it? It's just a bit, like there isn't I don't think there's Newcastle fans out there that are going, yeah, Eddie Howe, are they? Like, his job is to keep him in the league. He did so with Bournemouth, and so I mean, 5 out of 6 seasons he kept them up on a limited budget. Although it's a bit of a fallacy that, because he did spend money, but
yeah, true.
He has experience in keeping them up. But what he did have at Bournemouth was a solidarity. He knew the playing staff. He was familiar with it. They trusted him. The owners trusted him. He had everything his own way in order to get the best out of the team until the inevitable happened. And the size of the club typically dictates where you are in the football pyramid. So Bournemouth were always one day going to be relegated. So it kind of isn't on Eddie Howe that on the 6th occasion he failed.
Yeah.
But so all that said, I don't think anything about it.
Yeah, I think that is the feeling with Eddie Howe. You're not like, oh my god, it's Jose, it's Conte, it's Eddie Howe. He's like, I like him. He will probably improve them a lot, but can he galvanise? Is he a galvanising fellow?
Ultimately, he may improve them, but fundamentally, you've got to ask yourself, does anyone give a shit?
yeah. When all's said and done, and done, does anyone honestly? Anyone outside of Newcastle, honestly, give a shit?
You're talking sure. Like this is what I'm saying. Is like you're asking me to talk about Eddie Howe when the reality is there are only 60,000 people in Great Britain that give a shit.
Yeah,
and there are millions and millions and millions of people out there who don't, who don't give a shit. So who gives a shit?
Yeah. I sometimes people.
Do you give a shit?
Nah,
you love football. Do you care if he's successful or not?
No, I think not really. He doesn't. I like him. Does he excite me? No, he doesn't. I'm afraid. He's competent.
He's like your wife after 20 years, isn't it? You like
she's competent, but is she doing it for me? Really? Not at a base guttural level. No.
Yeah, I mean, and it's on her side.
Yeah.
She's looking at you. And you're standing there at the end of the bed.
Yeah,
you've got your
bloated, much like Newcastle. She's thinking, "What a bloated mess."
You're standing there, right? And you've got a shirt on, and it's buttoned up, and you've got a gut protruding, pushing the buttons ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And from the waist down, you're completely naked. And now she's looking at your withered digit, and she's gone, "I don't really give a shit about that anymore." And you can't blame her.
No,
that kind of energy.
Even though I am somewhat smartly dressed.
I paid half.
I'm sort of taking it seriously. Yeah. I think we've only spoken about this off camera, but there's not a less there's not a less flattering angle / sort of level of dress for a man than wearing a shirt and not wearing anything from about halfway down, because often it can cut your penis in half.
Yeah, look, you should
look like a toddler, don't you?
Exactly, you shouldn't be doing that. Past 2 years old, you shouldn't be doing that, really. And after 20 years, how much are you keeping trim down there? Because you're probably not. It's probably a big bushy mess, just a little bell end poking out the end. And you're looking at it going, am I interested in that?
Speaking of which, Flav, this podcast is sponsored by fantastic people at Manscaped. Can you believe it? Let me read this out. It's holiday season. That means there are stockings to be stuffed and elves to be cuffed. Well, today's sponsor, Manscaped, has gone global with the tools to guarantee you will score under the tree and the mistletoe. Manscaped is the leader in men's below-the-waist grooming, and they have served more than 4 million men worldwide. If math is correct, that's nearly 8 million testicles.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic.
That's fantastical.
Yeah. You can get 20% off free shipping at Manscaped with the code Allcott. Now, I've forgotten to get the products. They're downstairs, so I'm going to go and grab them. Oh, no, they're right here.
I believe the code, James, is Allcott20. That's the code if you want it. Get it. Allcott20, 20% off. I just look. It's really, really important. Like, you're not just doing it for yourself to make yourself feel better, and it looks bigger. It does look bigger. If you trim it back, it looks bigger. It's science or something.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Everyone knows it. If you leave it all to grow out and stuff, it looks smaller. And no one actively wants a small willy, do they? Willie. Do they, James? No one actively wants to have to deal with a small willy, do they, James?
I think it's about you want to be the best you can be, you know?
Indeed.
And you want to be the biggest you can be, let's be honest. So
and you know, don't worry about being too big, because apparently that's not all women actually don't like that. Apparently being average is what they really like.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
That's what I mean.
Whilst crying.
Why would they lie? And then but basically, if you're trimming it back, it's good for you, your ego and your self-confidence. And if you're in a part of your life where you have someone else to entertain and be entertained by you, then you're making their experience better, I think, unless they're into a big bushy nether region.
Yeah,
but I think my vast majority like a nice kept man garden. If that is
it's like anything. If you don't believe in yourself and look after yourself, how can you expect someone to look after you?
And what I would say, James, is it is quite a tricky task getting it all done down there. There's lots of
it absolutely is
wrinkles and crevices, isn't there?
Well, I think what's great about this is they've kindly sent me a package. Get it? And it's got all sorts. Now, Manscaped's best-selling product is the Performance Package 4.0, which is at the very top of every man's wish list. What I would say is, generally, as blokes, we are rubbish at buying each other gifts. This is quite a good one, which will then be a conversation starter. So at its very base level, this is a good present. It is a good present for Christmas. And
it's really hard to get all the hairs off the balls.
Thank you. Hang on.
Yeah, it's really difficult to get. Can you see? I can't see that. Can you say that up properly, please, James?
Yeah, so it's nice. It's a nice little package that they've got there. Oh, I've done it again.
James, can you get me that for Christmas?
Yeah, happily.
Yeah.
So let me show you the bits and pieces that you can get. Right.
I don't want you just to send me that box. I want a new box unopened.
That's fine. Okay.
Because you might, as much as I love you, James, I don't want to share your utensils.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. So inside you'll find... There she is, looking gorgeous.
That makes sense.
The lawnmower body trimmer.
Come on.
Okay, come on. You've got the crop mop.
Let's see that. What's that do?
So these are refreshing ball wipes with active pH control.
They've got some amazing branding, Manscaped. They really have. They really nailed it.
It's really good. What else we got here? Oh, you got a charging base, which does look quite sleek and slender, which I quite like.
Yeah.
So you can just put,
it's making what they're doing. What the Manscaped are doing, they're making it okay. They're normalising it, and it's a wonderful thing. It's okay to trim your balls.
Mm. What I haven't done before, and I'm excited to try, is the crop preserver, ball deodorant, anti-chafing, which is great.
Yeah, and as a man of substantial bollocks.
I knew it. I knew that was coming out. I knew it. I knew you were going to say that. I thought when I got this and I saw that, I thought he's going to make a comment about my balls. I knew that was coming.
As a man with substantial bollocks, it's good. It's good. You need, chafing is an issue, and it's not your fault, James. If anything is a disability, it's not your fault.
But you're given the hand you're dealt, and you've got to do the best with them. Ball toner as well with the Reviver. Check that out. This all comes together. It's really nicely put together, actually, and also, which I think is becoming more and more useful for myself. We've actually been given a shirt as well, which is great. And in here there are some what are they called? Briefs. Some Manscaped briefs as well. So this is the bit that I like. I got it straight out and went on it. Now let me tell you a story about this. Well, not this, but my experiences with this. This is the Weed Whacker, which is a great stocking filler. Get yourself that, as you could get the other bits and pieces as well, right? The Weed Whacker. Now, I went to a wedding. I went to a friend's wedding, and there was a friend of mine who lives in America who came over. I hadn't seen him for maybe a couple of years, actually. And I saw him. We were chatting away. It was great. The wedding came and went, and then when I got back, Fam said to me, I was like, "Oh, so good to see you, Sean, wasn't it?" And Fam said, "Oh God, yeah. Oh God, I forgot to tell you." And I was like, "What?" And she went, "Sean went up to my wife halfway through a wedding and went up to him and went, "What is going on with your husband's nose hair?" Right? And
not to you.
not to me. I was like, mate, like the stuff you've done and I've told you about. Christ. Anyway, that's because I didn't have the weed whacker. If I'd had the weed whacker, I wouldn't have to worry about it. So if you want to worry less, get yourself the weed whacker. But basically, this could get rid of ear hair, nose hair, any kind of hair you can think
So
of.
not only they're branching out to other areas of the body as well, other orifices.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the weed whacker as well.
Wonderful.
There's a link in the description. Get yourselves involved. As I said, 20% off and free shipping if you use the code Allcott.
Allcott 20.
Allcott. There you go.
20. You keep forgetting the 20.
Sorry, Allcott 20.
Yeah.
Allcott 20. Allcott.
That's the fourth time I've corrected you there, Jim.
Sorry, well done. Sorry, because what the bits I'm reading here, it doesn't have my exact code, but that doesn't matter. Right, get yourselves involved. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring the podcast.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this podcast, and then I'm gonna be off trimming my balls, which could take hours. But I know it'll be a good job at the end.
It's like 2 jacket potatoes.
Right. Back to the pod then. Back to the pod. Any more titles after that incredible segue? Graham Potter, best beard in world football. Well, he looks like you, doesn't he?
Beard now, is he?
Yeah, he's turning into you. He is. He's really turning into you. It's mad. Ollie glue to the rescue. Thoughts on that? So for those of you who don't know, last season we provided the glue that allowed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to take Man United to the dizzy heights of second place at the end of the season. And that was down to us going, let's get behind this guy. Is it too late to rescue him? Can we rescue him, Flav? What do you think?
I don't want to rescue him. I don't want to see his face ever again, to be honest. I'm sick of looking at him. Every time he spits in the face of everything we understand about football. Not in a negative way.
Go on.
Because sometimes that's,
What do you mean he spits in the face of it?
Well, he's supposed to be gone. He's supposed to have been sacked ages ago. He's not supposed to be there. Like every historical sacking in football suggests that Ollie should have gone several times during his career at Manchester United, and he's still there. Like, doesn't have the background, he doesn't have the experience, he doesn't have any success that suggests that he should be the Manchester United manager. He was a good forward for them, but spent most of his time on the bench. And he's been their manager for nearly 4 years and should have been sacked, and he's still there. I mean, I don't know. I can't explain it anymore. And that's it. That's when there was legitimate opportunities to sign managers that will do a better job than he did.
Yeah, he does. I love it. I love that he's hanging in there.
Yeah. But I don't know what I'm not gonna heaven and earth like we did last year to keep him.
Yeah,
I think before we were like, you can't have more.
Let's give him a chance. It was that, wasn't it? It was like, come on, let's back him. Let's be an optimist, not a pessimist.
Well, we kept flitting, didn't we? We were having the exact same conversations we're having this year. Should he go and should he say? And then we just got, this is boring, this conversation. Let's just back him for a season, see what happens. And then they marched all the way to second in the league.
Yeah, it was only once we dialed it down that they themselves dialed down their quality. So really, we should be in the job. I think we do a good job. I think we could do it. Do you know what I mean?
Is there any worst job in the world? Do you think there's anyone out there watching this who actually would love to manage their football club? Or are they completely naive to the complexities and how difficult a job it is?
If you won, like, Euro Millions and you won, like, 300 million or whatever it might be, would you buy Spurs?
Well,
would you buy your team?
You need a lot more than that. You're asking if I somehow became a billionaire, because it cost 1.2, maybe 2 billion to buy Tottenham, apparently. Would I buy them? Probably not. Probably not.
Would you buy a smaller club and enjoy the journey?
No, I'm not. No,
you don't like small teams, do you?
Like really interested in football on that level, really.
Yeah.
Although I noticed. I noticed just down the road from me, because my dad's just moved to Devizes, where I live sort of near Devizes, and he's just moved there. And on the back of his house is a football stadium, which I didn't know existed. And it's Devizes Town FC. And I said to my dad, do you know what? When they play next, should we just go watch, I don't know what division they're in, like 9th tier or something like that. Let's just go and watch some shitty little football. And And he said, yeah, let's do that. So we thought, me and my old man, midweek, nice tucked up, like warm jackets, couple of beers. What a nice way to spend an evening with your dad. I checked them out, how they're doing in the league. They are bottom after 15 games.
Ooh,
and
nice
they are
stand.
minus 49 goal difference.
Oh, my word. Really?
Yeah, they're really bad. They've just been beaten 9-0. And so I'll probably just leave it.
Yeah,
really.
I can't seem to see their. I think it's probably a good thing.
Devizes Town. They established in 1884.
They've taken the table off their website. That's how bad it's going. Wow.
Should we give Devizes Town our man glue? Just check in with Devizes Town each week.
Yeah, not just man glue.
It's not our man
glue. No, it's man glue is a Man United. It's a play on words. It wasn't our man glue. Not giving our ejaculate to a football team. What a week I've had, man. Got Lothar Matthäus on Tuesday, sports psychologist on Wednesday, Flav on a Friday, man glue on a Friday. Unbelievable. Apologies. Do you think we could sponsor Devizes?
What are you on about? How
wouldn't that be great?
Just come up. We've got 500 quid. Can you put our name on your shirt?
Would that be all right, wouldn't it? If they want it, would they take it?
They might take it, you know. Devizes Town. Maybe we should just follow Devizes Town.
Yeah, definitely. I think that could be the new glue.
Is there something in this? I was going to try and get Smith to do an on the road at Devizes Town. But there's literally nothing there. It's a pitch with a little stand. Does it matter? Does he go that low?
I don't know. They play in the Toolstone. What? The Toolstone Western League, Division 1.
What level is that? It's got to be like. You'd probably get a game from them.
Maybe. Probably.
James, have you ever played in like a ground that has stands?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, don't say course. Most people haven't. Who was it?
God, yeah, they are minus 43 on 11 points, 3 victories.
Yeah,
could be worse. They got to play Cheddar at some point.
That'd be a good game. Good game against Cheddar.
Bristol Telephones.
That's big. That's a big rivalry, isn't it?
Yeah, they're big deal.
With Bristol Telephones.
Bristol Telephones, bizarre. What were you saying? Sorry.
I mean, we could.
I wouldn't mind sponsoring them. I think it's a bit,
isn't it? It's a bit patronising, isn't it? These podcasts goes on. No,
money's money, isn't it? You've got to take it, haven't you? Can I explain to you my problem with Steven Gerrard?
Yeah, go on then.
Because there was one possible title. David Cooper said, "Will Steven Gerrard slip up at Villa?" Thought that was quite good. Quite good. If you're putting the fishing rods out there, that's pissing off Villa fans. That's pissing off Liverpool fans. Dangerous stuff. Here's my problem with him. And actually, by the way, just anyone who's hoping we're going to do what's trending, not today, because I could see that Benjamin Mendy's there. I'm not going down that road. Not today on a sponsored one. Yeah, Gerrard. Right, here's my thing with Gerrard. I like him as a manager. Right, he's got the gravitas. He's got the high standards. I like him. Right.
Yes.
I like his team. Michael Beale. I know I'm a loser, but Coach's Voice. He did like a seminar, and I watched it, and it was really interesting. I really liked the way they put together a team like that. Gary McAllister. I don't know. Has Gary McAllister gone with him? Catherine, let me know if you're there. I like him as well. Seems like a nice guy. Here's my problem, right? If Gerrard does well in the next, or let's say he does badly, right? If he does badly, what happens, Flav? He gets sacked. The club's not moved forward. Correct?
Yes, correct.
He goes to Villa. Everyone's going, great move. It's a great move for Gerrard. It's not a great move for Villa. I'm not sure it's a good move for Villa. Because say he does really well. Oh, wow, we're really getting somewhere here. Bye. He's off to Liverpool.
Yeah, but that doesn't that elevate Villa to then being if he moves and has made positive moves for Villa and he's got them into say top 6 or top 8 because that's what Villa need next, right? It's not just about being mid-table. In order for Gerrard to be a success, they need to be top 8.
Yeah. Top 10 minimum. Top 10 minimum, right?
In this first season, in his second season, he needs to be 8th or 6th Villa are a club of that size, should be. So that's success for Gerrard. If he gets Villa into that position, then they can attract another manager who might even be better than Gerrard. So there is benefit.
I'm not buying that.
Being a stepping stone.
It ultimately, it's not a long. I know long-term appointments are very rare, and so pinch of salt with any manager.
How many years has he been given? Sorry, I missed it.
How many years?
A couple of years, or is it 3?
I don't know. Catherine, can you tell us that one as well? Catherine did confirm that Gary McAllister will be in the dugout, which is great. But yeah, I don't know how many years he's got. But this is my point. Like, you want Brendan Rodgers, but you want Brendan Rodgers to stay, which he has done at Leicester, right?
3.5 years.
Gerrard, from what I've heard, his contract runs out when Klopp's does. So, like, you're essentially just a feeder club, and your top guy is the manager, like the guy who creates the. This is what I mean. It feels backward to me. Like, why would you go and get a manager that you don't believe, like no one believes, is really going to stay there? Like, if he does well, if he does bad, it's a bad appointment. If he does well, it's not a great appointment. Because he's going to, like, unless he goes ridiculous and he's like the Messiah and they win the league and do a Leicester or top 4, then fine. You just let him go and that's, you've moved the club forward. But again, you're losing him. You're going to lose him.
Yes, you are. But so are Spurs going to lose Conte. You still get him in because he can potentially deliver. That said, I like that Steven Gerrard said Aston Villa not a stepping stone to Liverpool job. You could be in that job for 5 minutes, and if Liverpool came knocking, you'd be gone. Don't give us that bullshit. You just say, look, I'm concentrating on Villa right now, and I've got a contract, and I'm going to honour it. That's what you have to say. Don't say they're not a stepping stone when you know that as soon as the Liverpool job
I just think it's belittling to Villa massively. And it's all we're going to talk about.
They knew that.
It's all. So even if it goes well, you don't get to enjoy it because you're just little Aston Villa, who is just a little lily pad for him to sort of jump across over to Liverpool.
Well, that isn't how Villa fans are thinking, is it? Right now, they're not feeling that. That's
I think they've kind of been, and I think I probably was as well initially. It's only kind of crept to my head over the last few days that I think we all got swept aside. That, oh my god, it's Steven Gerrard, and that is exciting, and I get it. Like, I didn't think Dean Smith should get the sack, but I also think Steven Gerrard could do better than Dean Smith. So fair enough, right? But
that's the other thing is why there is absolutely no guarantee that Gerrard should ever be the Liverpool manager, should anywhere be near a team of that size and that magnitude. Because he played there, yeah, that's great. But how many times have you seen wonderful players go back to the teams that they played for and it go tits up?
How good's he got to do? How good's he got to do to get the Liverpool job when Klopp goes?
He will get the Liverpool job. He will get the Liverpool job. He just needs to be mediocre and he'll get the Liverpool job eventually because it's such a romantic thing.
Hang on, wasn't your last point the fact that like he shouldn't get the Liverpool job?
I don't think he should. I don't think no, I'm not saying he shouldn't. He needs to do a lot, but he will because of the romance of it, and you've seen it so many times before. But he's done nothing. Oh, he get it. He's done apart from winning the League of Rangers and stopping Celtic. But remember, Celtic capitulated, and I know some Rangers fans, and they said the football wasn't fantastic. Certainly this year it wasn't. It was less good, but maybe he had an eye on the exit, whatever it might be. I'm not playing down what he did. He did a great job at Rangers, and it was a part of that storyline. But let's not forget that Celtic absolutely imploded at the same time. Anyway, this is a chance for him to. This is his.
Should he have stayed there?
What for?
Because you, in terms of like being found out, it's a safer place, isn't it? Like you put together something great, you do well in the Europa League, then amazing.
You don't go from Rangers to Liverpool, though, do you? You go from Villa to Liverpool.
I think
maybe
for Gerrard, it's time, right? If he's there long enough, if he'd been there for 6 years or 7 years or won everything, then I think they would have given it to him anyway, because it's actually about experience as much. Like, they know him as a man, right? And they know Michael Beale as a coach for Liverpool as well. So they understand those two elements of it. Coming back to Villa, Catherine, what do you think about this? Catherine is our queen bee of the patrons and an Aston Villa fan.
Yeah.
I
think.
I don't know, mate. I
think Rangers are starting to slip as well, and Celtic are coming into their own. I've been following it sort of from a distance, and Celtic is starting to click. They're playing really good, attractive football, and Rangers were plodding somewhat, and they were starting to be caught. Maybe he just thought, I don't know.
Do you know what game we got to play, mate? Do you know what game we got to play?
How many games?
Gerrard.
Till he gets sacked.
If he loses 5 in the spin, it's the same as Dean Smith. He's got to go, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
See, this is why I get annoyed by sackings. What's the difference? If he loses his next 5 games,
he's not going to, is he?
But if he does, he would not get the sack, right? Because he's new, right? Whereas a guy who's got credit in the bank, more experience, and knows those players and has developed those players, because he lost 5 games, he goes. It's mental.
The nature of the beast.
It is.
Regardless of what happens at Villa, I don't think Gerrard should be the next Liverpool manager anyway. The
guy after Klopp is dangerous, isn't he? That is a full.
Oh man, it's impossible. What can you do? You can't improve what he's done. So what happens?
Imagine who's the new manager for Liverpool? First meeting went, "Hey guys, I know you've done well. Can you give me more? Can you give me a little bit extra? I want to get more out of you." And they're going, "What? More? I came from Hull. I came from Hull. I came from Sunderland. I came from Southampton. And me."
Yeah, that's good. It's an impossible job. Gerrard's got to give himself a window. They need a shit manager, and then not a shit manager, but someone, because what's going to happen, regardless of who takes over Klopp, and Klopp could say the Liverpool board could say everything under the sun. I've prepared Gerrard. I've worked with Gerrard. I'm working with him. I'm going to have his ear. You can't replace a manager like that. It's impossible. When he goes, there will undoubtedly 99.9% of the time, when a manager like him leaves a football club, there is a decline, and there will be a sizable decline, because and with it, your expectation is damaged, and it's the nature and cyclical nature of football. Is that as fans, you have to accept these ebbs and flows in the game. Well, partly what's beautiful about it is you can never really predict. The only thing that really predicts, or you can predict the sustained success, is whose manager is in charge of which football club. And with Klopp, you know that over the years, Liverpool are going to be, as long as he's in charge, there or thereabouts. And even if there was a bad one they had last year and all the injuries, he's come back this year probably stronger, playing, again, some of the best football in Europe. So as long as he's there, you know he's all right. But when he goes, as a fan, Liverpool fan, or whatever club, you got to expect to see a decline. And it's natural. I mean, only Pep Guardiola, getting Pep Guardiola in, or someone like Ten Hag, then maybe you've got a shot. But Steven Gerrard, asking him to go in, even if he gets Villa into the top 6, which is a huge ask in itself.
Yeah,
very unlikely. If he does, that job is it's too difficult, because you can't improve what has gone on before.
But that's kind of my point of why go? Almost why even go?
Well, wait. You got to wait. You got to be patient. Learn your craft. It's like Lampard. Going to Chelsea. You understood it because it makes sense, and it was an opportunity there. But he went from Derby. What was it? 18 months at Derby, or was it less? And
1 season.
Yeah, 1 season, and he went into the Chelsea job. And while he did okay, he wasn't ready for it. But
sure,
how do you turn it down if he's offered?
Yeah. I think, look, I like that he's gone for it, because he's like, this. There's a squad there that if you can get them playing properly and they're all fit, then that is quite an exciting squad. Like the weakest link is not as weak as it was 2 years ago, because you're using that Grealish money. But obviously, when you lose a player like that, it takes time. So,
I wonder if you asked Liverpool fans honestly, and they said, in 3 years, if you had a choice between Ten Hag or Gerrard, who would you choose? I wonder how many of them would answer with their heart or answer with their head.
Let us know in the comments. Yeah, it's a great question. Catherine has replied, Gerrard is a massive risk. We needed something new. That's not really an answer, Catherine. Are you happy with it or not? And also, Catherine says, Smith didn't just get sacked because of the 5 losses, though. I hear what you're saying. I wonder.
What is it? What did he do? Is there's rumours around that? No, actually, let's not go there.
Yeah, not today. Not today.
No,
right. We've got so much great stuff to get through. What are we on? 42 minutes. The Jim Big Laugh Award. Right, football chat is over. Done. Enough of that. If you don't want to laugh, leave now.
If you don't like laughing.
If you're not into laughing, then leave, please.
Fuck off.
Imagine someone's going,
just fuck off.
Best turn it off then.
I hate laughing.
SWJ. So we've got things that make you go coming up a bit later in the podcast.
Is that?
It's basically awkward, embarrassing moments that make you cringe that we've all been through. But this one just did make me laugh out loud, and thus is the only nominee and victor. So many comments last 2 weeks ago. Absolutely ridiculous. So thank you for that. Loads are really funny. Some I didn't read. Sorry about that. So when you see the notification for this, click on it and get involved quickly, because I'm losing stamina after about 300 comments. As a kid, I used to be socially awkward when I wasn't around people I knew well. After years of playing football, it seems that I had unknowingly developed a reflex that would later rear its ugly head. One Christmas, my family and I went and stayed with some close friends down in Kent, and on Boxing Day, one of their older sons came over for the day. I'd met him a few times, but hadn't spoken to enough to build any kind of rapport or relationship. Sure enough, he walked in and said hello to everyone, and when he came to me, I shook his hand and automatically came out with, "Well played, mate." It's horrible. Well played, mate. It's at the start. It's at the...
Well played, mate. Doesn't mean anything. Nothing at all.
I can't remember if he heard me or what his reaction was, but because I was too busy malfunctioning internally, so I did my best to pretend I hadn't said it and carried on my day as well as I could. It was the replies, I think, that made me laugh. Harry Brayton Evans said, "I feel your pain. I once answered the register in a secondary school English lesson, year 9, with the word lobster. 8 years later, I still can't figure out why nobody castigated me for being spaced out thinking about lobsters. Nobody, even the teacher, said a thing." Harry Brayton then said, "Maybe I was power moving the whole class." Maybe you were. Comments of the week. We've done that. Disliking. Yep. Okay, one final couple of comments of the week from last week's podcast, which was funny. Zach Homer. I only came across the podcast a week or so ago, and without going into too much detail, it's really given me a few laughs in a life trying to become difficult. I like how you said that, trying to become difficult. You will get.
It hasn't become difficult.
Yes,
you got this, mate. You got this.
Don't openly laugh out loud too many times, if not for any podcasts or even YouTube videos. But honestly, I find myself belly laughing at some of the things discussed. Love the work you both do. Keep doing what you do best. Love you. We appreciate that, Zach. I also like the comments again. McSlash. Ooh, a fresh baby slug. Welcome, mate. Many things won't make sense yet, but about 50% of the podcast is just inside jokes. But if you stick around, I'm sure you won't regret it. Jersey replied, "Moist." And Joshua replied, "More of this." So thank you, Zach. That's a really lovely comment. Yeah. And also, it's not a bit. I don't think it's a bit. But what you asked a couple of weeks ago about satisfying names to say, footballers' names. One was Jari Litmanen. Just rolls off the tongue, which I think is fair enough. But Patrick Kerrigan said this. It's not necessarily a bit, although it could be, but great footballers' names. There's a player for Leeds called Crescencio Somerville. What a great name. Crescencio Somerville. Okay. I met once. So we've been doing this for a few weeks, haven't we, Flav? This is mental. Thomas Martin. I met once. Brackets multiple times. Erling Haaland. When I was in primary school in Leeds, there was a boy in the year below me called Astor Haaland. This boy happened to be the son of Alf Inge Haaland and brother of Erling. So I'd often see young baby Erling. What a scary little visual that is. Little baby Erling Haaland. When it was home time. I'd
imagine like a baby Erling, if you saw it out in the wilderness, would be... He'd be the same, sort of about 3/4 of the size he is now, but still gigantic for a baby.
Yeah.
In an old stroller, because he wouldn't fit in one of those standard... You know when you get a new baby, right, and you got to put it in one of them prams that lie down on the flat and their back. he'd be in a toddler's stroller from literally week one. He's so bloody big.
I imagine he grew up in sort of a Fern Gully kind of forest, like naked, sort of with long braided hair and a tail.
Yeah,
that's how I picture Erling Haaland growing up, sort of in the forest, just finding. You can't hear me.
I've heard you now. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying how Erling Haaland. I presume he grew up in a forest, foraging for berries.
But he would often, his delicacy would be in frogs.
Yeah,
he'd find frogs.
Which gives
he would be completely naked in a forest with moss everywhere, and he'd be whistling a lot, and he'd eat frogs in the mornings.
And he'd do quite well with the ladies, but he'd never say anything. He'd just be like, just sort of look at them. And there was like an instant connection.
My name's Erling Haaland.
Instant connection with them. Anyway.
I bet he's accidentally killed about 3 women.
Let's hope not. It was home time when his father came up to pick up his older brother Astor. I also saw Alfinger and Erling quite a lot back then, as my father was a Leeds United teammate of Alf. Thomas Martin. Is this Nigel Martin's son? Answer yourself, Thomas.
Can you read that out again, please? Just that part, the second bit, because I misheard it.
Okay. I also saw Alfie, Inga, Haaland, and Erling quite a lot back then, as my father was a Leeds United teammate of Alf.
And his name's what?
Thomas Martin.
And it's spelled with a Y?
Yes.
His dad is Nigel Martin.
It's got to be Nigel, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Nigel. Are you Nigel Martin's son?
Right now, he's like, fuck, how have they got that?
Well, that's pretty easy. He was a very, very good goalkeeper. Probably should have got more caps for England. He was so good. At the time,
I can't believe Nigel Martin's son watches this podcast.
Can you... we've had a few of them recently, haven't we? Stephen Tries revealed. Dr. Benji listens to us as well. Got a few people who listen to us.
Is there a way we can get Nigel Martin? We just chat to Nigel Martin about his time at Leeds for 5 minutes of the pod.
I bet Nigel can destroy a buffet. I don't think they'll go, and here's your plate, sir. And he went, don't worry about that. Just use my hands. He's Southern, isn't he? Is he Southern? No, he's from... I think he's from Bristol or something.
I'd imagine Nigel Martin in his front room, floral settee,
sure, with
a whole spaghetti bolognese in both his hands, and that's how he eats it. Not a single bit drops.
Yeah, just one bite.
It just goes like that.
Yeah.
And he looks up and goes, "I bloody love spag bowl." He looks around the room like that, making sure everyone heard him, and then goes back.
I said. Hey, Thomas. Thomas is like, I know, Dad. He does this every night.
Stop talking about spag bowl all the time, Dad.
I'm trying to listen to JAFFN.
Get here. Look at what your mum's made me. No plates necessary in this house.
No, go on. Take a bite. Take a bite
of spag bowl.
I don't want
Come on, Dad, Thomas. It's just like Thomas
is
like this.
Bite.
Okay, all right.
Because his mum goes, you know what he's like, Thomas. You'll have to just take a bite. He won't stop.
He won't give up till you taking a bite.
You know he's not going to stop till you have a bite.
He won't stop. And he goes, I'm not taking a bite, Dad. And he throws his phone up and runs upstairs in a fit of tears. And after about 5 minutes, I'd just let him calm down. And Nigel Martin, with his still holding all of the spaghetti bolognese, just slowly plods up the stairs.
Yeah.
Just slowly making his way to Thomas's room. And obviously
massive knock. He's got massive hands.
He can't do that. He can't do it because he's still holding all of the spag bowl in his hands. So he just uses his head.
Yeah.
Just knocks on the door with his head.
and then sits down.
Thomas, come on, take a bite.
Tom, it's good for you. You need your carbs.
You need your carbs, Thomas. You won't be a big, strong lad.
I'm trying to fast. It's after 7. Well, look, I'm your dad. I know what's best for you.
I know what's best for you.
And he goes,
have a bite.
And Tom goes like this. That's a bite. And then he goes, no, that's all right.
Yeah,
and Nigel gives him a little wink. He goes, see? And then he's still got his hands. He's still got his hands. And just to break the tension just a little bit, he throws up the spag bowl in the air, catches it, and goes, keepers. and they look at each other. Just a lovely smile.
A little heart. Do you know what? As mad as all that was, it was slightly heartwarming. I felt like almost like I wish my dad did that.
Yeah. Anyway, where are you? Yeah, so the teammate said, right, look, wow. Leeds United teammate of Alf at the time, so their family would sometimes come around for dinner.
So Thomas just hung about with Erling Haaland.
Yeah, or Astor.
Can we ask some more questions here, Thomas? Like, what did you ever have a kickabout in the garden? How good was he as a 10-year-old boy or whatever it was you'd have been?
Well,
let us know.
Yeah, he seems to be referring to him as a baby. So he said the deeply depressing thing is that I've known a baby that's grown up to be far more successful than I'll ever be. Up the slugs.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same for everyone. Sorry, I didn't realise it's a baby. I haven't got my...
Ollie Sainsbury.
Yeah. Do talk to your dad about this.
Yeah, we'd love to get Nigel on.
Play him that story. See if it resonates.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's from Bristol. We've got that wrong. Anyway, Ollie Sainsbury. I'm a new moisty, and I joined the Patreon the week of Conte's appointment, and I reckon I have one of the best I met once out there. At my brother's wedding in the summer of 2008, I was sat in the cubicle of the chapel's washrooms having a nervous poo. I was the best man. When three blokes came in and a line at the urinals, all I hear one of them say is, "Torres is a right spoon." I laughed as I left the cubicle to wash my hands and chuckled back to them. He's class. I don't know what you're on about. I only saw the back of them in the mirror. I go and stand outside the toilets to speak to my brother, and a few moments later, John Terry, Frank Lampard, and Ashley Cole walk out the toilets. JT smirking at me as he passes by. Turns out they were just leaving a wedding reception that took place before my brother's. Ever since, I haven't been able to look at Fernando the same. Apparently he's a spoon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it didn't work out, did it, if we're honest. And a final one of I met once, Oliver Rudge. Now, one of these three isn't true, I reckon. But which one, let us know in the comments. I met once. A few months ago, I went to my local leisure centre in a suburb of Manchester to get my first jab. That's your jab. Once I actually sat down and was talking to the nurse, she then presented the needle. I haven't had a single jab in my adult life and never knew how terrified I was of needles, so I actually fainted. After coming round, I was fairly disorientated and just wanted to leave. They were trying to book me in for another day, but I wasn't having any of it. Anti-vaxxer. As I was rushing out of the hall with my head down, I bumped into an incredibly sturdy and cold figure and instinctively said, "Oh, sorry, mate." I looked up to see none other than Roy Keane. He saw I was distressed and asked what had happened. I told him everything and mentioned that I might not bother coming back because of this newly discovered phobia. Roy then put his hand on my shoulder, immediately calming me down, stared deep into my soul and softly but squeakily muttered, Jim, do the accent for this? Oh, he's just asked me, sorry. But that's your jab. Fair to say, that wasn't enough for me to turn around and face my fears. Or that was enough, sorry. I sat on Roy's knee whilst having it done. And everything was fine. I could feel one little prick in my arm and the other on my bum cheek. Glad to be able to share this. Love you both.
Wonderful.
Not sure if that's true.
I think it is true.
Yeah, okay. What is true is that Samisms are rife. Flav, oh, yeah. Samisms are rife. If you I'm just remembering 2 weeks ago, I described Sam as the late great Sam People.
He's not dead.
He's not dead. So yeah, Sam from United People's TV, late great Sam. He struggles with phrases, and thus
everybody does. That's what since we've made this a thing. I'm hearing them all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is mad. They are absolutely
and
everywhere.
Poor old Sam is getting the brunt of this. When he's bad for it. Like, he's the worst.
I wonder if it's a Man United affliction, because I don't want to call out someone, but I was watching a Man United video live stream, and there was a presenter on it, and that presenter was doing Samism after Samism. And
really?
And it was just like, because when you hear a Samism, you just go, oh, that's wrong, let it go, and then you move on.
That's not how we reacted in the office at Bull Street Days, was it?
True.
He did it, and we go, and then run up to the thing.
Yeah. And yeah, anyway, he's I can name and shame this person. Harry said Samism during Goldbridge. Mark Goldbridge at it with the Samism. Again, copying, Sam from United People. See, that's a joke. Goldbridge's reaction to the Manchester derby. We were beaten before the whistle was kicked. Nice mix of before the first whistle and before a ball had been kicked. Oh, go on.
Did the guy respond about the Samism within a Samism? Do you remember?
Yeah. I haven't.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think I've heard from him.
But apparently I got dug out because I did a Samism within a Samism within a Samism. Apparently. I don't think I did, but
Really?
what I was saying it was incorrect. I don't know.
Interesting. If anyone could unpack that for us in the comments, that'd be great. Mini G 2508. Probably don't put your date of birth in there. Not sure if this is technically a Samism, but one time my brother was describing when he was late for a train and said, I had to bust a nut to get here. That is a Samism. The best Samism is one where you go, what we're after with the best Samism is that it creates a picture in your head and it's makes you feel a bit off. So I had to bust a nut to get there. At the time, I remember thinking, that doesn't quite sound right, but I'm not sure why. That's it. That's what we're after, really. It was hours later before I realised I meant to say busting up. It said very different meaning. Emily Collins. Great Samism from Molly May, who's, what's her job? When talking about how well she's dealt with the break, her break-in, she got broken into, did she? Not to float my own boat.
Not to float my own boat.
And final one. Callum Brewer. I was away with my mates in Reading a couple of weeks ago. We were watching Top Gear when one of my friends referred to them still making episodes as kicking the money out of a dead horse. Kicking the money out of a dead horse. I started giggling away in the corner as I instantly noticed the Samism, much to my friend's dismay. Would you like some power moves, or would you like things that make you go,
How many power moves have we got?
We've got loads, but we don't need to read them all out.
Read two.
Read two power moves, okay? For those who don't know, this is stolen from Hamish and Andy. Thank you, Hamish and Andy. It's basically where you can assert dominance. And here are a few. I'm going to read out two. El Gringo. As partly the inspiration for the stories, I'll throw one in there. It's actually a power move combo. I was thoroughly hating my commute home when an older lady gets on the tube. There's a guy sitting in the disabled seat and she starts giving him some lip. He's pleasant enough, says he's got a disability and has every right to be there. By this point, the whole carriage is enthralled, waiting to see who folds first. This goes on all the way to Wimbledon Station, at which point, just as we're all getting ready to trudge off, the bloke looks the lady dead in the eye and without even lifting up his trouser leg, twists his false leg off and hops off the train. Solid. Good power move, that. You're not really hurting anyone, but you are putting them in their place. Ross Simpson. I feel like the most... Oh, this is back to football. I feel like the most classic power move is shouting. He doesn't want it. That you do hear that a lot at Sunday League football. Yeah. Yeah, you do. They don't want it, lads. After one goal. Yeah, I would never say one person doesn't want it. That seems quite personal and harsh. I don't know.
I find it a bit weird when, just a bit sad when Sunday League footballers take it really seriously as if they're like pro footballers.
Yeah.
I much prefer the teams that are shit and they just turn up pissed.
Yeah. You can't get pissed off at someone being pissed, like drunk.
On Sunday, yeah.
You're
not taking it seriously. No, I'm not taking it seriously. This is an awful level of football. We're all shit. Why would I take this seriously? Why are you taking it seriously, you weirdo?
Yeah. I mean, like, you can try your best.
I'm not saying don't try your best. Yeah. Don't waste people's time. But I'm not saying,
don't compromise your Saturday night.
Oh, of course not. Like, if I was playing if I ran a football team and at least 80% weren't still pissed from the night before, I'd be fuming. That's what Devizes Town's all about. That's why they got a minus 43 goal difference. That's a story. That's a bunch of lads you can get behind.
About the ale. Final one, because this is quite good, actually. Jake Hardisty, there's a power move gone wrong, Flav.
Mm-hmm.
Power move. I was listening to the pod on my walk home when the power move bit commenced, just as the walking pace power move ended. So we were talking about a power move where you overtake with walking on a street. Just as the walking pace power move ended, I thought I'd give it a go. I should prefix this. Is that the right word? Prefix? Preface this, isn't it? Next bit by saying it was a narrow pavement. Anyway, I was eyeing up the unsuspecting victim ahead, holding in a chuckle. I went for the overtake. What happened next was astonishing. The bloke had the cheek to cut me off just as I was alongside. I went from the powerful to the powerless in less than a second. I had to force my way through at an unnatural pace, ruining the whole experience. Someone had a bit of help for them. This is Leo. He said he may have been trying a technique I've often used. Not proud of this. If someone misjudges an overtake, I will occasionally match the pace of the overtake, so we are walking side by side for a little bit. If you can handle the cringe and keep your eyes forward, I would recommend this power move. Very good. And that's this week's power moves. Done, dusted. Buffet chat has survived. How?
Oh, fuck, it can't have.
How?
What more could we fucking talk about buffets? It's been 6 weeks, James.
It's got to be. I think when buffet chat will go the week Ollie goes. I think they'll. It'll be like the end of The Notebook. They'll die together.
What are people still talking about buffets for? What can they possibly still say about buffets?
Okay, well, here we go. I mean, we spoke about great link. We spoke about the all-inclusive holidays a couple of weeks ago on what tactics you should use for that. Nate Young said, buffet chat, on all-inclusive holidays, I do still think you need to approach the buffet with that competitive mindset. However, it's a different kind of competition. Remind yourself it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think you just got to feel like you're net up. I think that's the crucial thing. Maybe get up at 4 and order something, like 4 a.m. Just feel like you're really winning it. And Jake, all this recent buffet talk inspired me and my family to go to a Toby Carvery last weekend. Me and my brother had a friendly...
I like the sound of that.
A Toby Carvery? What, a carvery?
Yeah. I might... I mean, I'm obviously not the meat is not going to be for me, but I just like the idea of a good
nut
sort
roast?
of solid Sunday sort of roast potatoes, just binning them all on your plate. So, that's kind of... I'm sick of thinking about... Like when you're talking about Chinese buffets, like... Let's swap it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll get to refresh it. But less about Chinese takeaways and more about other variations of buffet if we are going to continue this.
Fair. I think there's a little spanner in the works with Toby Carvery because you've got to be careful with the carbs. But roasties are a huge part of a carvery, aren't they? Or a roast dinner. So, do you go to them? Do you utilise them?
Yeah, all right, James. All right, okay. Let me help this along a bit. So what? So
let me give you some knowledge. Go on.
Well, I'm just saying, like if the buffet is essentially going to be a roast dinner, what do you go for? What do you pile on your plate? Like when you do a roast at home, what bit of the roast dinner do you look forward to most? Obviously there's the staple Yorkshire pudding. Everyone loves one of them.
Yeah,
roast potatoes as well. But what are you saying?
I get a bit confused.
If you're at this buffet, what are you piling on your plate?
Well, I get a bit confused with Yorkshire puddings because, am I making... Well, they're sort of crispy, but am I making them soggy? If I'm putting gravy on that, is that going to get cold?
I don't think like it's a problem. I don't.
If I leave it, is it getting cold as well? Am I using the gravy to heat up the Yorkshire pudding? I don't know. Am I eating it? Wait, I'm not finished. Am I eating the Yorkshire pudding on its own with the gravy, or am I putting it with the meat?
No, Yorkshire puddings, the very nature of a Yorkshire pud, the fact that the way it's shaped means that you put stuff in it. Like round here, you can actually get Yorkshire pud wraps. So the wrap is a Yorkshire pud, and then you've got a roast dinner inside the wrap.
Nice.
Pretty good.
My mate Sean, who I was talking about earlier, who spotted my nose hair, after he was so hungover, and we went and we had a roast somewhere, and he wanted, when everyone's ordering pudding, he went, can I just get another Yorkshire pudding? And the guy was like, for pudding? Yeah. So he just ordered another Yorkshire pudding, which is absolutely bizarre. I would go with, I think you've got to enjoy, I'm thinking 3 roast potatoes, and then maybe those little smaller ones, which are better. I like stuffing. I do like stuffing.
Come on.
Come on.
There's nothing about a roast dinner, and by proxy, a buffet roast dinner that I wouldn't enjoy. Like the roast carrots with a mustard and honey glaze. Oh, Jesus!
Just so underrated and an incredibly cheap vegetable as well. Parsnips. Parsnips.
Parsnips are great.
Right? The parsnips are great.
Parsnips are fucking fantastic.
No one talks about them.
Do you know what no one talks about? You know when you have like a Lebanese falafel wrap?
Oh.
Do you remember the wraps that we used to have?
Yep.
When we was at Ball Street? And the turnips that are dyed, a pickled turnip that are dyed purple, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, they're great. They are great.
Underrated foods.
Anyway.
Foods. Let us know.
Ollie in the chat saying stuffing's so overrated. Get out.
Who said that? Who said that?
Ollie Sage.
Ollie, 1 week ban for you, mate.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about roasts, I'll be honest.
What?
But I'm not mad about them. I'm not like, it's a roast.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I didn't grow up having them a lot.
Why?
I don't know. We just didn't bother. Like, I don't know. We were fine. We had
I
chicken
don't
tonight.
understand what you're talking about.
Like chicken tonight. Remember that? Anyway, Jake. So he went to a Toby Carvery. He was excited to go with his brother. They had a friendly challenge to see who could eat the most using all the buffet tactics we've learned from this wonderful podcast. Long story short, my brother won but got disqualified as he threw up 3 plates of meat and veg straight back up on the plate he'd finished eating from. I have video evidence of this happening, unfortunately, without a spoon, but who eats a carvery with a spoon anyway? That's a good point. I just wanted to check with you. I don't know if you want to see this video or not, Flav. The comments were very funny. JaackMaate said we're going to need a video of you showing the video. yeah. I didn't read
what?
This. We're going to need a video of you showing the video holding a spoon, please, Jake. Kieran Buckley said disqualified him for throwing up. That's supposed to happen. Jake replied, I thought you were meant to be just on the cusp of vomiting. I mean, you can vomit it, but it's vomiting on the plate. That's what's cost him. There's still food on the plate, isn't there? That's what's done him. Which Jake says you've got to finish your own plate. Charlie Peach, careful. He would have won if he had eaten the sick off the plate. There are levels to this game. I think that's a level too far. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Would you like the video? Do you think it's bullshit, Flav?
Yeah, I want to see the video. Yeah.
Okay. Of him being sick.
Yes.
Okay. My Twitter or Flav's Twitter. Maybe just send it to Flav. He can enjoy it. Maybe we'll look at it next week. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll decide.
Okay. We finish off with things that make you go, awkward moments. Here they come. So, Adam Walton, awkward moment. Getting to the cashier at Asda just after completing a full week shop. Exhausting all the friendly chat you have with the nice lady at the till. Seconds before being free, she says, your receipt is in your bag. And you automatically reply, yeah, you too.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
When you're just kind of like, I think I'm done now. And then, yeah, you too is a bad one. When someone, because you think you're safe, aren't you? You think you're out the door.
You're being polite, you're being nice, but you just end up looking like a fucking twallop.
Yes. Twallop. It's a new one. Joe, awkward moment. Roughly 3 years ago, I went to H&M in the Trafford Centre with my girlfriend to buy some new jeans. I jokingly started pointing out awful examples of skinny jeans, pretending to like them, to see if she actually thought my taste was that bad. I got carried away. Going down the escalator, there was a mannequin with some petrol blue boot-cut jeans. I pulled them out slightly at the knee to again jokingly say, how about these? These might suit me. Her face dropped, as did mine, as we concurrently realised it was not, in fact, a mannequin. Rather, it was an alarmed and shaken real-life man. I think and cringe about it every day. Or every other day. Oh, it's not too bad. Bob Green. One time, my highly unreliable Corsa was having work done at a Grossi Mechanics. Throughout my interactions with them, I was, of course, bloking it up a bit. Chewing gum, using mate excessively. Chewing it. Geese?
Yeah.
You want geese? You want geese? That's it. Don't tell you about this. My mate Bear. You know my mate Bear?
Yeah.
He's a posh guy. I'm sorry. And he said he had to go buy like some wood from somewhere for a fire. And he said he panicked and called the guy governor.
Governor.
All right, governor.
I went round to my dad's house because he's just moved, and I found myself knocking on the walls. I support him all this one, Dad. Probably,
yeah. You go. That is me.
You need an RSJ. If you want to knock this one out, you need an RSJ above it.
Yeah,
and you knock on it. That ain't a supporting wall. Knock that through. We don't need that.
Yeah, go straight through that if you want.
But I wasn't even being ironic. I was literally walking around knocking on, going, "What could we do this, Dad? What could we do this?" Like I had a fucking clue.
Yeah, Craig and Dom do that. Any new place, I go, yeah, you could go through that. You can go straight through this if you want.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wonderful.
so yeah, he was bloking up a bit, chewing gum, using mate excessively, the usual. The mechanics rang me up later to say the car was ready to collect, and I autopilot ended the call by saying, "Love you, see you soon."
Yeah.
Utterly
That's
mortified. Utterly.
You've got to go in there. You can't leave your car
that's
there.
it. It's not even over. Love you. See you soon.
Love you. See you soon.
All right. And last one. Oh fuck, we got barber chat. Christ.
I can't do it today because I've got to pick my kids up in like 15.
Oh, fair enough. Next week. Right, final one. Adam Rawlings, awkward moment. I was in the first week working at a hospital, filing notes, when I saw a woman struggling to get some notes on the tightly packed shelf. Being the true gentleman I am, I asked if she needed a hand. To my disbelief, she turned around with the case note in one hand, revealing she was missing the other forearm. I didn't know what to do, so instead of helping her, I decided to shout, "Yes, won't be a minute," as if someone had called for me. This seemed like a perfectly good way to get out of the situation until I remembered it was an arm she was missing, not both ears. That was my doorbell. I continued to work with this woman and the elephant in the room for 6 months and never spoke of this moment again.
Nice. So she's missing a forearm.
They're saying she needed a hand. I've got to get the door. You've got to go pick up the kids. So should we go? All right.
Peace. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers,
God bless
guys.
you all.
Love you lots. Become a patron.
Take care.
Hit the like button.
Bye-bye.
Subscribe. See you soon. Bye.